Okay, greetings, my friends. Welcome to Sitting with Maurice, in which we discuss ideas and concepts from Maurice Nicol's psychological commentaries on the teachings of Gurdjieff and Ouspensky, a most astonishing series of books, in my humble opinion. So for today's discussion, rather than diving deep into one of the particular commentaries, I want to discuss something that's been on my mind over the last couple of days from reading one of the commentaries, which is a very important use of terms that Nicol uses. Actually, you see it across the whole fourth way, but we're talking specifically about Nicol right now. I think it's a very important term for seekers of all stripes. By seekers of all stripes, I mean, some of us are coming at this from atheist perspectives, theist perspectives, agnostic perspectives. We're all coming at it from different starting points, different places on our individual paths. The thing that makes us kin is that we're all seeking for the truth, right? Whatever that is. We're trying to figure out what this reality thing is, how to best function in this reality, perhaps how to liberate ourselves from this reality. All these different things. That's what joins us together, but we come at it from different perspectives. Now, along that path, sometime years ago, I encountered something that frustrated me immensely, frustrated me so much that I threw the whole spiritual thing aside for a while. And it is something that I see causing problems with people today. And what I'm referring to is the ego, right? In just about any path, at some point, you're going to come up with, in many paths, I don't know if I could accurately say in just about any paths, in many paths, many philosophies, many different ways of thinking about this, you will hear people talk about the ego and the need to dissolve the ego. Now, when they say ego, they don't mean arrogance, as people commonly think of the term. Ego is meant as your sense of self, your identity, your personal identification, your individuation, right? Now, there's nothing necessarily wrong with that, but where it becomes problematic is that I hate that term. It's so overused today. I can't believe I just said that. But anyway, so where it creates problems, or it created problems for me, and where I see it create problems for people today, is these paths will then go on. The goal of spirituality is enlightenment, right? Which is the dissolution of the ego, right? Rejoining the one, with capital O, the universal sea of consciousness, God's mind, however you want to phrase it, right? But dissolving your divided, individualized self and being absorbed into this mass sea of consciousness, God's original thought, right? Now, the problem with that is it creates logical issues because the terminology itself is sloppy. And what I mean by that is, okay, even if you've gotten yourself to the point where you say, all right, I see enough of what a prison this existence is. I see what a prison my ego is, and I want out of it. I want to join that universal consciousness. I want to join that, God's mind, right? All well and good. But if you're coming at it and you're defining ego as your sense of self, essentially your individualized self, and then you say, well, we're going to dissolve this ego, well, then it leads to very simple and obvious questions. Because is it not my sense of self that tells me to wake up and eat in the morning, right? I mean, there's that thing that wakes up and says, I am hungry. I need sustenance to continue, right? Now, this is an extreme example, but it touches upon the general error that I think we encounter by using the term ego. Because you do rightfully ask yourself, well, if my ego is my entire sense of self and I get rid of that, then how would I even function in life, right? That doesn't even make sense. And it doesn't make sense, right? I asked Jason Gallant this interview I did a few months, probably about a year ago now. But he had a very eloquent and insightful answer to it. But so anyway, if you haven't listened to that interview, go check it out. It's a good one. But anyway, he's a fascinating guy, professional bodybuilder, and had a spiritual turn in his life. Just a really neat guy. He's the real deal, man. I've had some correspondence with him outside the interview, and he's the real deal. He's not playing around. But anyway, so the use of the term ego in the way that it is defined creates a lot of problems. It creates logical, rational problems that frustrate people and make them start to think, well, this whole spiritual, psychological improvement thing is a bunch of irrational nonsense, and I don't want any part of it. And it is so easily cleared up by using the term false personality. Nicole uses the term false. It's used throughout the fourth way, but we're talking about Nicole specifically right now. So false personality capitalizes it, right? Capital F, capital P, false personality. And what he talks about is how that is, you grow up when you're very young, you're all essence, and essence is capitalized, right? And that it's like, he doesn't use the term true self, right? This is my spin on that particular thing. But the essence to me is kind of like saying this is your true self, who you are. And then as you get older, you have to develop this false personality, which is, it's really your personality, right? But it's false in the sense that it's a series of biases and mechanical responses that you cultivate through your life in order to deal with reality. Now, Nicole is very clear in that, in expressing that false personality is necessary. We need it. It's a inescapable part of life. We need it to get through life. We need it to maneuver through life. But there comes a point where if you want to go further with your spiritual journey, you're going to have to buck that false personality and start getting back to essence, right? Now, I've talked about this in previous commentaries discussions, so I won't elaborate on it too much here. I just want to keep this simple and say that I think the term false personality is far preferable over the term ego. And I think that if people simply replaced the term ego with the term false personality, it would significantly clarify many concepts, many aims, many goals of this path of self-improvement, spiritual growth, whatever you want to call it. This is the quest for enlightenment, seeking of truth, however you want to say it. And yeah, that's really it. I just think false personality is a far superior term, and I think that it would eliminate a lot of confusion if it was used in place of ego. So, thank you, Maurice Nicole, for the term false personality, and it's something I wanted to throw out there. I'm curious to hear what people think, if any of you think that is useful, if you think it's not, if you have a specific reason why you think ego is preferable. But yeah, that's just my thoughts on it. It's just what I wanted to share today. I've been thinking about this for a couple of days. I read the commentary a couple of days ago, and I was getting ready to make one of these recordings. But I really got stuck on that. Not stuck on it. I was really thinking on that false personality thing and why I think it is so important. Seems so small, but I don't think it is. Our choice of terms hones and focuses our thoughts. And I think it is a much more accurate representation of what it is getting at than ego, right? I'll take false personality over ego any day. So that's about it. Peace out, my friends. I hope you all have great days.